In 1989, the Berlin Wall fell. You've seen the footage, the crowds, the hammers, the people climbing over concrete that had divided a city for 28 years. It is one of the most celebrated moments of the 20th century, and almost nobody knows how it actually happened. It wasn't a revolution. It wasn't a military operation. It wasn't Reagan's speech. It was a press conference, and the man giving it had no idea what he was about to do. The Berlin Wall went up in 1961. Overnight, East Germans went to sleep in a divided country and woke up in a divided city. 140 people would die trying to cross it. It wasn't just concrete. It was a message. You belong to us. You don't leave unless we say so, and we will never say so. By 1989, that message was starting to crack. Not the wall, the government behind it. People were leaving, through Hungary, through Austria, through any gap they could find. Protests were growing. Leipzig, Dresden, East Berlin. The regime was hemorrhaging legitimacy, and it knew it. So officials did what governments do when they're desperate. They drafted a policy, a new travel regulation, not a solution, a pressure valve, controlled, limited, managed, the kind of thing bureaucrats write when they're trying to prevent history from happening. The plan was to announce it the next day. Checkpoints briefed, guards given orders, procedures in place. That plan survived exactly 4 hours. Günter Schabowski was a party spokesman, mid-level, functionary, the man they put in front of cameras so the actual decision makers didn't have to be. On November 9th, 1989, he spent the day in meetings that had nothing to do with the travel policy. He was not in the room where it was decided. He was not briefed on what it said. At 6 p.m., someone handed him a memo on his way into a live press conference. No context, no asterisks explained. No one said, "Read this carefully before you open your mouth about it." He walked in, sat down, started reading through announcements, and then he got to the travel regulation. He read it out loud, haltingly, like a man encountering the material for the first time, because he was. The room stirred. Reporters leaned forward, and then an Italian journalist named Riccardo Ehrman asked the question, "When does this take effect?" Schabowski shuffled his papers. He had nothing, no briefing, no answer, no guidance from anyone in that room or outside of it. He made a decision in real time, immediately, without delay. He was wrong. That is not what the memo said. The memo specified next day procedures, controlled implementation, an orderly process. Schabowski didn't know that. He guessed. And he guessed wrong. On live television, broadcast internationally, the press conference ended. Schabowski gathered his papers and walked out. The footage hit the wire within minutes. West German television broadcast it live, directly into East German homes. East Germans didn't wait for clarification. They put on their coats. Within hours, thousands of people were standing at the Bornholmer Street checkpoint. The guards had no orders. They called their commanders. Their commanders called up the chain. Nobody knew what to do, because nobody had authorized this, because it wasn't supposed to happen tonight. Harold Jaeger was the checkpoint commander at Bornholmer Street. He was getting screamed at from both directions, thousands pressing in from one side, superiors offering nothing useful from the other. At 11:30 p.m., he made a decision nobody told him to make. He opened the gate. Within hours, the wall was coming down. Not in an organized way, not according to any plan. People were hitting it with hammers, with picks, with their bare hands. 28 years of concrete and wire and 140 deaths, coming down because a man who wasn't supposed to read a memo read it wrong. Schabowski didn't go to the wall that night. He didn't watch the checkpoints open. He went home. He went to bed. He found out the Berlin Wall had fallen by watching the news the next morning. He said later he didn't understand what he'd done until he saw it on television. Here is what we know for certain. Schabowski was not briefed on the travel policy before that press conference. The memo did not say immediately. His answer was a guess. The checkpoint commanders had no orders. Every one of them acted on their own judgment. The wall fell because of a chain of unauthorized decisions that began with one wrong answer from a man holding a piece of paper he'd never seen before. That is documented. That is the historical record. Here is what we can't prove: whether anyone in the government realized the mistake in time to stop it and chose not to, whether Schabowski understood somewhere in that moment what he was setting in motion. Here is what nobody ever really answered. We talk about the Berlin Wall falling like it was inevitable, like the forces of history were always going to bring it down, like it was only a matter of time. Maybe, but it fell on that night because of that question, because of that guess. Change any one of those things, and maybe it doesn't happen in 1989. Maybe it doesn't happen the same way ever. History doesn't happen because someone planned it. It happens because someone guessed, and we spent the rest of the time pretending it was inevitable. And that's the part that should keep you up at night.